Let's say you go, hey, 10 years from now in 2000, 35, 36, 2040, I want to be a millionaire. Whatever you make right now in a year, imagine if 5 to 10 years from now, that was your monthly paycheck. So if you're making 50,000 a year in 2031, if you're making 50,000 a month, but you're doing it from home, online, and it's residual. See, here's the beauty. You build this right, eventually you can take a step back and still get paid. This is what excited me so much. I didn't know what MLM was. I didn't know what network marketing was. I never heard of it. I was very open-minded because I was going to community college, living paycheck to paycheck. I was, living at home with my parents, pretty standard, pretty normal when you're, 19, 20, 21, whatever. I didn't love the idea of going to school. I didn't love the idea of like, let me study and learn all this crap that I don't care about so that I can get a piece of paper that says I'm smart. Nothing against having a college degree, right? Nothing against an education. But, for me, I was a little bit of a knucklehead. I was, a little bit of a troublemaker. I had 2 earrings here, 1 here. I had a tongue ring. I was a drunk punk loser. No direction. I needed the personal development. I needed the community, the mentorship. I didn't know that at the time. Like, I didn't get started because I was like, I really need community. I really need, mentors. Like, I didn't, get started for those reasons. But the motivation that I received, the inspiration, the guidance, like, it was so crucial for me, even though I spent more money than I made. It took me 7 years to fire my boss. It took me 16 years to earn 7 figures a year. And I just look at it like this. Like, once I started making that kind of money, do you think I cared what I made the first 5 years? Obviously, I wasn't worried about what I made the first 5 to 10 years. Once I started making that kind of money, the point is you got to have long-term vision, because everywhere you go, there you are. Everywhere you go, there you are. And you need to get better so you can recruit better people, so you can help the people on your team have better results. Sometimes we have to get very creative. Sometimes there's people, they say all the right things. They're wantrepreneurs. They want to be successful. They want to make money, but they're not willing to do what it takes. Everybody wants a flaming young lifestyle. They got them hot dog habits. They don't want to commit. They don't want to sacrifice. They're afraid to invest in themselves. You know what sucks? A lot of these people are afraid to get their hopes up. It's like, yeah, they want to make more money. They don't want to do anything uncomfortable. They want the beach house. They want the lifestyle. They want the freedom. They want the income. They want all the things, but they don't want to do what you did to get there. Isn't it sad that there's a lot of people out there that have all the potential in the world? They have all the potential in the world, but they're terrified to fail. They're terrified to look small or, not know what they're doing. They're terrified to get rejected. Sometimes you have to realize that, like, a lot of the bad shiz that happens to us, these are tests. You can't have a testimonial if you're never tested. And you have to realize, like, that emotional roller coaster that we talk about, it's real. Listen, even after all these years, I still have those days where I'm like, throw my hands up, like I turn my phone off, like I'm just pissed, right? Or I'm frustrated. And it might be that I'm frustrated because, like, look, I'm just going to keep it real. This business is so crazy because in the same day, you could have a leader quit. That could happen. In the same day, you sign up a rock star. The same day that can happen. This is why you have to always stay on. The key to staying on the emotional roller coaster, keep the bar down. Because there are those days where, like, you literally quit. You just didn't tell anybody. So if someone starts complaining to me after a couple weeks, a couple months, I'm like, dude, it took me 7 years. I spent more money than I made. That's like a normal. How many of you watch Shark Tank? All of these people sacrifice so much. They work their face off. They get rejected. In fact, sometimes the sharks reject them. I got really good at recruiting quality people that had more influence, and this is before social selling, social media. This is before influencers and all that nonsense. This was just me talking to business-minded people, entrepreneurs, people that already make, 6 figures. Maybe they have a job where they make 6 figures, but that's still like a performance-based job. Like, they just think differently. They like money. They want more of it. They want more income streams. They have a better attitude. Like, you'll never meet a hater doing better than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are open freaking minded, and my business finally started to flourish. It finally started doing well. The problem was we were out doing meetings every single night. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. It wasn't like one day you could stop. In fact, those guys are still doing meetings every night. Like, brutal. But again, I did learn a lot. And the biggest thing I took away from that is you got to have systems and you got to recruit up. Or I should say, you can also develop leaders. You want to develop leaders and attract leaders. Make sense? I started, like I said, attracting better people, recruiting up, all the things, but it still always went back to the same thing, duplicating other people's success stories, right? When you get good at identifying and encouraging potential, could be a personal recruit, it could be someone 10 levels deep, but when you start finding these people that you can lock arms with, pour into, creating these success stories, we have to do a better job tracking our numbers, like figuring out, like treating it like a business, like really figuring out like what moves the needle. So what we found is the spring is like the best, right? Like that March, April, May, June, those 4 months rock. July, August, September, a little like slower, like people are going back to school, vacations. But here's the problem. People think, oh, it's slower, so let me take a step back. No, dude, that is the dumbest thing you could do. Why? Because when things slow down, it slows down for other people too. So what does that mean? Well, that means there's a lot of people right now that are now looking for opportunity because they're realizing like, oh my gosh, I spent a lot of money this summer. We went on a lot of vacations. Like, you know what I mean? Like they want to get back on track. So that's why in the fall, September, October, this is typically when companies do events, by the way. They do their event in the fall and they do their event like early spring. Why? Because they also are very well aware of when momentum typically occurs. And November is typically the biggest month of the year. The last 10 years I've been tracking numbers. November is always the biggest month. But guess what? After November, December, not so great. December, January, little sketch. So you have to kind of know what you're working with. And again, you got to treat it like a business. So like on the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th, those are like the most important dates, in my opinion, to track your volume, number one. Number two, I take daily screenshots every night before I go to bed. It might not seem like a big deal at first, but when you can go back and look like, ooh, let me go look at July, 7th versus August 7th. But then I can go back and look at June 7th, May 7th. I can go back and look several years. Does that make sense? I can go back, 5, 6, 8, 9 years and see exactly how much volume we were doing on March 7th, June 7th, July. Does that make sense? Like it's so helpful to kind of know what you're working with. So that's important. The other thing you want to track, how many people are you ATMing per week? In fact, let me know in the comments, be honest. How many people are you ATMing per week? What does that mean? How many people are you exposing to your products or opportunity? How many people are you inviting to take a look at what you're doing? If you're not talking to people, see, the problem I see, and some of you see my posts about this, people are posting and praying. If you're an influencer or you have some influence, you might be able to get away with that. You will never, ever, ever, ever hear me say it's easy. You always hear me say, if it's easy, it's sleazy. Of course it's hard. Like, duh. Someone's like, oh, this is really hard. Like, yeah, did someone tell you it was going to be easy? Like, getting rich is hard. It's easier to duplicate teaching someone how to build a customer base in the beginning than it is to teach someone how to build a team in the beginning. I'm not saying you shouldn't do both. You absolutely should. In fact, you should do whatever you're most excited about. Are you more excited about building a team or building a customer base? Like when you're new, the answer is probably just getting customers because you don't have the confidence to build a team. But once you start building up a customer base and you get pretty good at attracting customers, enrolling customers, retaining customers, all the things, right? And you're making money from customers, it just makes sense that like, why would I only rely on my own efforts when I can build a team? The problem is people start trying to build teams and they get easily frustrated. I did a post about this last night. They don't have the patience. See, the one thing that you have to realize in a business like this is you have to be very persistent and very patient. Once you do start enrolling people, because you get over your fear of failure, you're talking about the product, and you just ask them, would you also like to take a peek? Would you also like to take a peek at the income opportunity? No worries if not. Could you use the extra $500 to $1,000 a month? Do you believe in multiple income streams? Have you heard of affiliate marketing? These are some of my best questions. So when someone says no to me, I'm like, they must not understand. They must have missed something. Must be my fault. Must not know them that well. The timing isn't good. Now, whatever it is, I'm not going to chase them. I'll replace them. You understand? But like, I'm going to stay in touch with them. If they're a good human, someone that I'd love to work with, I'm going to stay in touch with them forever. And I'm not always going to bring up the business. Sometimes I'll let them ask me about the business because I'm asking them about their life. How's their summer? What are they up to? But the point is, and let's be honest in the comments, okay? What is the percentage of people you've spoke to? Out of all your friends on Facebook, all your followers, what do you think the percentage is that you've actually spoke to about your business, about your products? And the problem is, I know a lot of you will say, well, I've been posting about it. Do you realize how hard it is right now to get attention on social? I don't know if it's ever been harder. because there's so many content creators. Everybody's posting. Everybody's making reels. Everybody's doing stories. So how do you stand out? Relationships, real relationships, authenticity. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And you got to get better at talking to people. I know that's like a weird thing. Like, read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Go to ChatGPT. What are some of the best books or programs I can go through to become a better communicator, a better connector? You want to be a great question asker. Some of you come on too strong, right? Some of you, you're being weird. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. Like, just talk to people like a normal freaking person. Like, this is why I'm so good at recruiting. Like, I signed up 7 new recruits last month, 7 new customers. And by the way, I hope they all love the products. But even if all 14 of them do absolutely nothing, do you think that will discourage me? Do you think I'll stop? Do you think I'll go, oh my gosh, like, they didn't like the products? Like, next. Some will, some won't, some wait. So what next? I've also had people tell me the products don't work, and then they still order more products. I've also had people tell me the products don't work, and then they stop taking the product and they realize, holy crap, the product does work. I've also had people that I thought weren't going to do anything, and they ended up being some of my best people. In fact, here's something you'll never be able to comprehend. It's like just the reality of network marketing. It's just such a crazy deal. The people you think will, won't. The people you think won't, will. The people you think can, can't. The people you think can't, can. And sometimes you're right. And the reason people don't join you, they don't believe you. They don't trust you. Now, sometimes it's just a timing thing. If you're telling someone how amazing an opportunity is, and then 6 months later, you're telling them how another opportunity is even better, and then 6 months later, another opportunity, and then a year later, and it's like, that's why people don't join you. They're like, dude, you're telling me everything you do is great, but you keep doing something that's greater, which means the thing before that wasn't great. Well, what's the deal? Like, that's why you have to have that commitment. You have to have that dedication. Those are the people that are rewarded long term. It's the ones that stayed focused, they stayed committed, they kept the main thing, they mastered the system. They learned how to prospect, how to invite. They learned how to follow up. They learned how to onboard and launch new people. They don't get the analysis paralysis. And if they do, or their business isn't where they ask for help. That's the best part about what we do. Do you understand? You have a mentor. You have an upline. You have sideline sisters and brothers. You got people that you're all trying to build the same business. Like, you have the same vision, same future, same goals, same vision, same dream. Like, collaborate with those people, support each other, encourage each other.